Tim in Newton. What's up, Tim?
Hey, Mike, what's going on?
What's happening?
I want to say one thing about Girardi, and then I got a couple names to throw at you as possible candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Girardi, well, I think was one of the best managers the Yankees had because he took over in 2008. 2009, he had a veteran team. He took them all the way. This year, he had basically what was close to being an all-rookie team with a few, veterans sprinkled in. They took them to one win within the World Series. So, from both sides of the spectrum, it's pretty damn good.
Plus, here's how you know. There'll be people who will be running after him to make him the manager.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
A couple of names I want to throw at you. One, you mentioned Jorge Posada. He was a catcher.
No, I didn't mention him. Some fan did. I don't see him as a candidate at all.
All right. Possibly Paul O'Neill.
I don't see him as a candidate at all.
All right. And the last one, Al Padrique, the Scranton manager. He came up with these kids. He's a winning manager. He won a championship with these kids last year. Why not him in the big leagues? I mean, he's managed in Arizona before.
Don't know him. Really wouldn't have any pluses or minuses with him. The names you've heard: Josh Paul, Tim Naring, Brad Osmus, Jay Bell. Those are the names. Those are the names you've heard so far. I mean, we know Jay Bell is a player. Paul, the Yankees catching coordinator, supposedly popular in the organization. Who knows? We'll see. It'll be someone like that. Or maybe, it could be Osmus, but, he's got managerial experience. 4 years with the Tigers. Now, that was taking over a team that was clearly decaying as he took it over. No question. David in Morristown. What's up, David?
Mike, isn't there something to be said if there are philosophical differences between Girardi and the front office, that it creates this kind of democratic sense of checks and balances where no one person or idea has too much power, and they sort of give each other a healthy balance, as opposed to everybody being in line with all the same ideas and no differing opinions.
Well, I think you set up something that, even has, sounds a little bit like how our government's supposed to work. But the point is, the guys who are the decision makers want the power. So the general manager wants the power and wants the power put in his departments and wants that department to be the main thrust, so that the manager comes in, buys into that entire philosophy, and that they're all on the same page, working as a machine with the manager as the front man, but running the system that they want run all the time, which means they're going to make the lineup, they're going to decide certain things, they're going to decide the philosophy, they'll make the rotation, that kind of stuff.
Mike, by that logic, it doesn't matter who they bring in as a coach, because he does.
It still does for this reason. You still have to manage people. There's still the human element of this, and that is disciplining people, motivating people, handling the game. You still have to somebody has to make the pitching changes, and that's why the pitching changes, when to make pitching changes. Look at last night as an example. You said it yourself that the front office has more to do than ever with pitching changes. No, Mitch, meaning that not pitching changes. They make the rotation. They decide who's on the roster. They decide who's starting, but they can't pick the pitchers for you. They can't tell you when to take a pitcher in or bring a pitcher out. The manager, along with his pitching coach and his bench coach, have to be able to make those decisions. They're not going to get someone called down and give them that decision. So they're going to have to.
I swear you said that Cashman had a say in how long they wanted CC to go in, to stay in, and never when you take the pitcher in or out. That's always got to be from the dugout. That has to be from the dugout. Now, they might before the game have a game plan, but that doesn't mean you can always. It's still got to be. There has to be a point where your eyes matter. Okay, they can decide who starts. They can decide what the rotation is for a series. They can decide who's on the roster. They can decide what order they're going to pitch and where they're going to pitch. That's all part of this grand scheme. But still, you have to have your manager and your bench coach and your pitching coach in the dugout, and their eyes have to tell them when to take a pitcher out, when not. Last night, perfect example. Okay, I will contend, and you can tell me all you want that the Dodgers do this all the time. You can tell me that, they have a very deep pen. I will not argue any of that with you, but I will still tell you that last night, in my estimate, the Dodger manager lost the game because of the way he ran his pitching staff. And Smoltz said it, and he's correct, completely correct. You cannot want to pitch that many pitches in a game. You cannot, because you're not going to have them all sharp. And to me, Hill clearly did not have to come out of the game. When he came out of the game, he had thrown 60 pitches. He was not getting hit hard. You know, he had allowed one run. And if you back everybody up an inning there, you don't ask Jansen to do something he has not done a lot. And you can treat that game completely differently. And to me, he went too deep into his staff and wound up getting caught napping. Now, Houston is a different situation. Verlander, when he gave up that home run, I thought they were going to lose the game because I thought Dodger bullpen would hold on. Houston's bullpen, when they go to the back of their pen, they have to rethink it because I don't know if they can get anything out of Harris and Musgrave. They each got an inning out of both last night, a clean inning out of both. But their two main pitchers out of the pen, Giles and Davinsky, have been awful and have been unbelievably hittable the entire postseason. And that is what, you know, they're lucky they didn't lose last night because of those guys. That's how bad that bullpen was. And what turned out to be a wild game, and if you like home runs, well, you loved last night's game because the ball was flying out of the ballpark fast and furious. So from that standpoint, I thought there's a perfect example. You can have a strategy, you can have a plan, but your plan cannot be to pitch all those pitches in the game. You don't want to go that far into the game and throw, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pitches. And I understand the last one, you're not looking for the last couple to pitch, but the point is you left yourself vulnerable when you go take your starter out at 4. And I just think you got to back that up. And now with Houston getting that win and getting that series even, it's going to make it a fascinating series. I don't think Houston would have won that series if they had lost last night. I thought that going in. I thought when he hit the 2-run home run off Verlander to make it 3-1, I did think the Dodgers were going to win. The way the game was going, I thought they had enough firepower in the pen from there to get home. But again, he stretched his pen too far. And I don't know the middle of his pen as well as he does by any stretch. It's not like we watch the teams we watch every day. But the point is, you can't ask that many different guys to perform. You cannot. And now that's going to be a very interesting series in Houston. And this series could very well come down to a crucial game with all the pressure put on Kershaw to deliver his team in a very big way back to L.A. I mean, I can see that a mile away. It's almost like it's going to happen. Back after.